G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Well, we reckon it's a bit cold. The 11 to 26. So, yeah, that's a bit chilly for us. It's well, I suppose it's winter in a week, isn't? Oh, in a month, isn't it? It's early May. So, yeah, I think the start of June's our winter over here. So, yeah, it is cooling down. 11's not as cold as we get over here, but usually through the seasons, or through winter, a really cold one for us is 4 degrees, and that puts a bit of frost on the grass and things like that, and things slow down growing, the grass slows up and things like that. But the last couple of days, yeah, or probably the last 2 days, today would be the coldest at 11, but 26 through the day. So look, lovely weather for having a bit of a work and a bit of a fiddle in the shed here, and yeah, it's just a nice time of the year really. It's not too bad of a morning. Bit cold for the thongs on the toes, but anyway, that's just a bit of a sook thing, isn't it? I got my proper boots on today because I thought, oh, I might be cold on my toes up there. So anyway, it's actually Tuesday morning. I'm running late with the stew. On the weekend, we had Freya's birthday party, and Freya made it to number 1. So I'm not sure if I'll have any footage of that or not. What I did with the 2 new cameras for the grandkids, I gave Ariana 1, she's 10, and young Arrow's 6, and I said, go for a walk around with them because they couldn't really damage them much and see what you have. So they were tootling around with cameras and things, and I had a quick look at Arrow's footage, and he's pulling faces into it and all that, so we won't show you all that. But I don't know what footage they've got. If it's something we could have at the end of the stew, pardon me, if it's something a little bit of footage at the end of the stew, we'll put it on. I just haven't had time to have a look at it yet. Our family friends, Mick and Margaret from Mergen, and Dave and Jody from down Brisbane, they came up on Friday, and yeah, so look, we had a great social weekend. They camped here in their caravans, and we went out to the shed and had a fire, and yeah, drunk a few beers and drunk a few more. And then Saturday morning we got up and we put the gazebos up the front there and had a bit of a fiddle around, just in anticipation of the party. And look, the party turned out well. There was about 30 people there, and yeah, Tim and his friends and the band members from his band, most of them were there, or probably all of them were there. And actually, I didn't see the new drummer, but anyway, perhaps he was. I don't know. But yeah, they got a good group of friends, and they had the birthday party, and all the little ones come along, and yeah, people we knew because we've been in town for so long, like Joel that we bought the Mitsubishi off, well, he was there, and then Chris, he's a mechanic in town with the council, I had a bit to do with a few years ago when I was helping with the council, him and his missus, and yeah, look, it was just a good crew. And so yeah, so the party sort of went on into the afternoon, about 4 o'clock. The dads were, the girls were buggering around with the kids and chatting and carrying on, and the dads were sitting having a beer or two, and yeah, it worked out okay. And so that was a good evening. So yeah, we had a bit of a cook up that night. Then Sunday, not the shipping container, bloody hell, too many beers, my head's not working. The carport out the back, the 6x9 carport, I got notice from the council that I had to have it, have the paperwork in a while, or if I let it go past the date that they had, I'd have to pay to get it apply again and all that. And I said, well, it's up, and I'm using it, but I just need to put the gutter and the downpipe on. And they said, well, you can't have it certified without the gutter and the downpipe. They just don't do that. You can't just have a shed with iron and the water just tumbles onto the iron, onto the ground. Even in a farm, rural setting, you've got to have a downpipe. Anyway, the shed kit, they supplied the guttering, and the downpipe, the piece of downpipe they gave me, out near the hoist here, that used to get really wet, so I've put a drain in, and I dug a drain in before we did the concreting for the carport out here, so I used the piece there, so I have to go and get a piece. So, but Mick and Dave are handy fellas, and yeah, they gave us a hand on Sunday morning, and we spent all Sunday morning up at the shed here, and yeah, we'd put cross braces in and only put one screw in, so yeah, we've screwed them off and finished screwing the roof off, because to speed things up at the time, we only did every second screw. And Dave was the chief screw man. He's up on the roof, you know, away he goes. That's his job. He doesn't like guttering. And Mick, my mate from Ergon, he had an engineering shop, and you know, he's built many sheds and things like that. So we left the guttering to Mick, and he did all the cut, shut, measure and all that sort of thing, and I'd hop on the dumb end of the tape measure now and then for him, and he'd stay up the smart end of the tape measure. And so yeah, look, we've got the gutter up, we've got the flashing finished. Yeah, we had to put a piece of flashing on the back where the gutter goes, and the gutter goes onto there, but we chose to put the flashing up. But before we put the flashing up, we did the string lines and got all the guttering brackets on, and so then we just had to get the gutter, and the gutter was two pieces that we joined, and me and mainly Mick, joined and at a 9 metre length, and we got it up there at a 9 metre length, and I was up a ladder on one end and Mick was down the other, and Dave was in the middle, and away we went. Clipped it all in, and yeah, so the gutter's on, everything's done except the downpipe, and Dave was rattling my chain then. It was midday Sunday, and I said, oh no, look, he's helped more than enough. So he said, nah, get into Bunnings and get a bit of bloody downpipe. We might as well finish it off. A couple of 15 degrees. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. But I said, I'll do that later on. And he said, oh yeah, like you're going to finish the shed. And I was, but ladders, holy hell, they play up with me nowadays. When I got smashed up in a tractor accident years ago, my ankle got all smashed up and the foot ended up against my shin, jammed up, and it buggered up my ankle a bit. And now in the cold weather or standing on ladders and that, God, it gives me curry. So I was very grateful for the help, and so I have to go and get the downpipe, and I probably won't do that today, but I'll grab it coming home from work one afternoon this week. And once I put the downpipe on, I've just got to put the paperwork in, and the certifier will whiz out and have a quick look, and yeah, sign it off sort of thing, and then we're all legal. No one can do anything about it. Old mate up the back can't dob us in for having something we shouldn't have, and we're all legal as far as we can tell anyway. So that'll be good. But it was just great to have the helping hand, because you know, 9 metre lengths of guttering on your own, and we had to screw off some of the flashing, like we'd screwed it up into the top but not underneath, and I suggested to Jude one time that, you know, perhaps she could drive the forky and I could hop on, and she wasn't keen on that. But anyway, it's done now, and it's great to have good mates, and they helped out a lot. So the other couples come up to our house because in August, the 12th of August, we're heading out of here, and Dell's going to come and be manager here again, and we're heading up to Cape York, up to the Cape. So we're going to take 4 to 5 weeks out of our normal routine. We're not going to do the silly stuff, you know, the tally track and, you know, all through gunshot and all that. Everyone says, oh, you've got to do gunshot and you've got to do the tally track, and you do, but like, my vehicle's worth about $120,000 at the moment. I don't really want to come down there and bang and scratch all my bull bar and bloody bugger up a good car just for one thing, so I'm not going there. We're going to pop in and have a look at, you know, Fruitbat Falls, Elliott Falls, and we've actually got on Sunday afternoon we had just a trip meeting in the pool room up there, and we've got places booked like Barra Crab. Barra Crab's a caravan park about 5 hours drive north of us. Then so it's Barra Crab, Bowen, Etty Beach. Then we'll go up through Milla, and we'll end up at the famous Lions Den Hotel. We're heading up to Cooktown for a look. Stay at the Lions Den Hotel, then we're staying at Cohen, and yeah, things like that. We're just going to have little stops along the way and try and work out. We'll probably have some long days and some shorter ones, and so the end result was right up at the tip. There's a really lovely camping area called Punson Bay, so you can Google all this and have a look at it. Punson Bay, and Punsan or D. Anyway, Punson Bay, Cape York, and we were going to try and get there on the 20th, but they told us that oceanfront, beachfront sites with no power, we couldn't, but they could fit us in on the 21st. So we're going to spend an extra day getting there. We've got 5 days booked at the tip at Punson Bay to have a rest and just bug around. And they've got there's alcohol restrictions because of the Aboriginal communities up there. There's certain alcohol restrictions, and if you're passing through, you're allowed to have a 30-pack of cans of mid-strength beer or 2 litres of wine, I believe. But at Punson Bay Caravan Park, they've got a bar, probably $15 a stubby. Who knows? Who cares? They've got little restaurants and laundrettes and things like that. So we booked in there for 5 days, from August the 21st for 5 days, and we've sorted out that we're going to, even though to get to the tip, it's only about 5 kilometres across the water around the bay sort of thing, but to actually drive there is about 40 minutes to an hour through a 4-wheel drive track. So we're going to drive up there and walk around and get to the tip, and then we're arranging to get a helicopter, and we're going to fly across the tip and around the tip, and it's only a half-hour flight. Oh, it's not even that. But yeah, they go up, and it'll just be great for these little cameras I bought, just to hang out of the helicopter and get footage of flying over the Cape. And we've also got organised a 1-day trip out to 3 islands. There's out to Thursday Island, and there's 3 islands, and one of them's a World War II facility that they had there, to protect the tip of Australia and that. So it's supposed to be it's an all-day thing. So we've got that booked, and we've got a couple of rest days booked, and so we're all keen. And we haven't booked anything for coming home. We reckon, well, once we're up there, we'll be talking to people, campers and all that up there, and there'll be things that we missed on the way up, because we're going to hot-foot it up there pretty well if we can. And Dave's towing a caravan. Mick and ourselves will just have the utes with our camping facilities there. So we had the meeting there, and we've actually booked sites and things like that. Booked in at the Weeper Caravan Park and things like that, so we can it's a holiday. We've got to enjoy ourselves. So that was done. Pardon me. And then Monday, that I normally do the stew. Well, it's been a long weekend in Queensland for Labor Day. So everyone stayed and went home yesterday. So by the time everyone went home at lunchtime yesterday, Dave and Jody had quite a long haul. They got stuck in traffic there for a while, just coming into Brisbane. Mick and Margaret got to Toogoom, one of their houses. They got a beach house down at Toogoom, so they got home down there okay. But yesterday afternoon we sort of spent tinkering around and tidying up, and I turned the Bedford around, because some of the things I just like to put a fishing rod holder in the canopy that we're taking with us, and a couple of knickknacks like that. So I've got the old Betty turned around, and it's turned around. I'll do that. I'm thinking of doing a different setup for our ensuite setup too. Just still keep the main frame, but it gets a bit wobbly, so put a bracket on the front of the cruiser. So I've just got a couple of little jobs to do to get us ready for that. But look, that was great. It was a great catch up. But not a sausage of shed work apart from working outside in the shed. It was too windy to have a bonfire. We're talking about having a bonfire outside there, where we've had the clean up of the fence line, which we still have to do, finish off. But it was just too windy. It wasn't sensible to have a fire for that. So we just stayed up the front and had the fire in the fireplace. So it was great. It was a good thing. Jude and I watch a lot of YouTube, and we watch a channel called Merit Contracting, and we watch Mark and his dad, and they're Western Victoria. They've got a grain farm, sheep and grain sort of thing, a mixed farm, and Mark's got a YouTube channel called Merit Contracting. So that's that. So go and jump on there. He got 5,000 or 6,000 subs out there already, but yeah, he just covers the day-to-day farm life, as in doing the planting, the shearing, the whole lot. It'll give Barry a bit of an idea of what happens with the sheep in Australia. So yeah, it's interesting. But go and jump over to Mark. So he had a competition on how many days it was going to take him to finish the harvest, the grain harvest, and I just put in 60 days, and yeah, I wouldn't have had a clue really. And anyway, he said whoever does it, he'll send them some merchandise. So I just got the sun's coming out again, which is bloody good really. But it's just at a stage where it's shining in the door just a little bit. I'll see how it goes. It's not too bad behind us. People have suggested I film the sun coming up. So one of those new cameras I bought, I've got it sitting out in the loading ramp doing a slow motion. So yeah, or time lapse I think. I've got it over there doing a time lapse now. By the time it points at the trees and you see the sun coming up, I'm not sure it's not going to flare out. So first time lapse I've done. If you see a little time lapse on the end of the video of the sun coming up, that's what's going on. If it's rubbish, you won't see anything. It just won't be there. Yeah, so I won this thing, and Mark said I'd send some merchandise. So I contacted Mark and I said, look, I've got a YouTube channel, Bundy Bear's Shed. And I said, how about we do a merch swap? So I sent him one of the Bundy Bear's Shed t-shirts. I sent him a couple of them. We have them in black and grey. I sent them, and a stubby cooler. And he sent us a Merit Contracting shirt, t-shirt. So it's a nice thick shirt, Mark. It's a beauty. I don't know what brand it is. Something heavy. As colour heavy. 3XL, because I'm a round fella. And these little fellas here, I'd actually never seen them before. And they're stubby coolers, and they're nice and flat. But when you put them around a beer, they just wrap around like that. So there's your stubby cooler. That's a cracker, Mark. I hadn't seen them before, so that's a good thing. And it feels like, and I reckon they'd be good for going on day trips and things like that. Just whack them on your wrist and head out and play up like buggery. Yeah. So it feels like it's got a tape measure in there, and you can, once you click that, well, it folds up, but you can straighten it out in the back there, or in here probably. You can straighten it out, and away you go. So yeah, oh, that was natty, Mark. I enjoyed that, so thanks for that. So yeah, I just thought I'd wear this shirt because we're talking about t-shirts. So I've got some of these. We haven't got 2XL or 3XL, which just means at the moment, it just means to say us tractor blokes are fat bastards. But well, some of us, not all ears, don't take offence. We've had a couple of photos done of shirts. Well, I took them, but of shirts for the new Bundy Bear's Shed website. But that's not up and running yet. It's going to be a while. We're working out posts and how we work out posts for the Australian market and how we work out posts for the New Zealand market. I think we've got that worked out in sachets, satchels. Australia posts satchels for here in Australia. there's a USA Canada satchel, and there's a England Ireland satchel, and there doesn't seem to be a European one that we can find. But the Australian Post satchels, you can put up to 5 kilos in them, but you just choose a size. So say one as big as a sheet of paper that you can put a book in might be $13.50 Australian sort of thing. But the same thing, to go to America, we're only allowed a maximum of 2 kilos, and one's 500 gram, one 2 kilos, and they're about $30 Australian, which is 20 bucks American, maybe. Yeah, so we're trying to sort that out so it's an even thing, but the calculations they're trying to do for the website is that if you buy a t-shirt, say it's $13 freight, or it'll be as cheap as we can get it down to anyway, but one t-shirt will be $13.50 freight, but then so will 2 t-shirts, and so will 3 t-shirts. So if we can fit 3 t-shirts into that packet for $13.50, say, that's what we're trying to work it out, so the website does that automatically. Or if you buy a t-shirt, a sticker and a stubby cooler, say, it'll be the one price. Like as you add parts on, up to 5 kilos, it won't change the pricing. So on our Queensland Tractor Spares website, we have an Australian Post app in there. It's an add-on thing that we have to pay for, and it works out how much a part weighs and the size, and it does all the calculations for us. But when you get international, it just goes stupid. So, pardon me. So we're trying to just use the sachets, yeah, whatever. I'm not sure. I don't think there's sachets, but then it's satchels. So anyway, who knows? So I've got the computer blokes working on that, seeing how they can do it. So for one cost of post, you could have half a dozen items if you chose to, and not just tack on all the time. We're trying to keep it as cheap as possible, and it's only to try and make this new website pay. Cover its costs mainly. Pardon me. But yeah, see what happens anyway. I bought some new long sockets off Trade Tools. Pardon me. Yeah, bought them off Trade Tools. I didn't have a 15/16. I can remember breaking the 15/16 socket, and chucking it away, but I hadn't got one, and I was trying to get the spark plugs out of the head on the farm wall, and on a McCormick Deering, I'm sorry, and I just didn't have one anywhere. I couldn't believe I didn't have a 15/16 long socket. So anyway, I got one now. That whole set, like it was, look, let's say $22 for one socket, just a 15/16, and the whole set there was 34 bucks or something, and they're reasonably thin walled, so you wouldn't want to put them on the ACAC gun. But for just normal use, look, they'll be handy, they'll be fine. So we'll see how that goes. The Glip tool turned up on Friday. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to have to go and fix this light, I think. Hang on a second. Okay, so there's the Glip tool. So 145 bucks for that. Very expensive, but I'm presuming I'm not going to use much. Yeah, I do have a really small air gun, just a touch-up spray gun, and I was wondering about getting that in there and spraying inside, but it may just be just as easy to get a bit on a brush and rub it through. The housing's nice and dry. I will probably try and do that today. I'm only going to use red oxide in the bell housing, CRC red oxide. Yeah, CRC Primate they call it. I'll just go and grab it. So that's what we're going to use. That's a red oxide product. I've used it quite a bit. I'm pretty keen on it. We're going to use that in the bell housing and anywhere that hasn't got oil. It's got a corrosion factor 36. It contains zinc complexes, but I'm not 100% sure that you could put it in a housing with oil and all the slush and that, and it probably etches in very well, but I just don't want to take the chances of that coming loose. It's the same compartment as the hydraulic pump, so we won't worry with that, I don't think. I've got the tool made here for, well, I've got the tool made with the T-piece. I've got this tapped out now. I've got a fitting to go to the porta power now in here. I've got the fitting for the digital gauge so you can see what's going on here for when we get to the testing. Today I'm going to do the tests, and I've already done them, and I know that our little orange tool there that Barry's got and Shane has got is spot on. And it'll be a separate video, not on a stew, it'll just be testing the 3D printed K961796. It'll just be testing that, and I've already done the tests here, and I've sat the original one on, and with it in TCU here, you need a gap between the lever and the control valve of 1 to 3 thou. Well, mine's 4 thou, which is a little bit high. Perhaps I can take a shim out here if there is a 1 thou shim. If it's a 2 or 3, well, we might do that. But yeah, the 4 thou feeler gauge will go in, the 5 thou feeler gauge will not go in. And so I took that tool off, I put the new 3D printed one that I made on, and exactly the same. There's absolutely no difference. So the time that we spent in setting these up with with a ream shaft through here to hold them true, and using adjustable parallels and all to get the heights correct. Look, I'm bloody sure we're correct. I can't find any difference unless it's 0.005 of an inch or something like that. Which with the clearance there 1 to 3 thou, it's obvious what they're doing here is they just want to make sure it's not riding and this main control valve's right home. So I'll do a little video on testing that, just a separate video, so the people that want to have a look at that don't want to watch the whole stew if they don't want, that's fine. Now Barry from Man from the Mist, I sent Barry one and a stubby cooler. I see last night he got it. Barry's going to go through, well, I think he's in the process, well he's bought it through emails. He's bought a 3D printer, so if you're in England or Ireland, Barry will be able to make you one of these, and he won't give it to you, but it's he'll have to cover costs and things like that. So what Barry charges, I have no clue. That's entirely up to Barry. I'll probably have them on the new website, and I was thinking like, I don't know, $30 or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, I'll actually do a costing. My software actually tells me how much of the filament I use, and then I know to do 2 of these on mine. For Barry and Shane, I had one of these that I broke, the early one, and I dropped it back to 20% fill just for a quick one, just to test the concept, and I actually broke it. So I've increased this one now to 40% fill. So, and that means that you have an outer skin on the tool here, and the crisscrosses inside where it supports it. I brought that up to 40%. You can have it high as you like, but I found 40% works. Now this tool here, for the hobby bloke that wants to have a go at setting his own control valve settings up on his tractor, a plastic one will be fine. You're not going to do it every day. You're not a tradesman. Like if you're a tradesman, a David Brown bloke, and you had a heap of customers and you had to keep them going, and you use this thing out of your toolbox twice a week, well, you would really have a look and pay the money and get a steel one. But if you're like the average bloke that is having a fiddle with his tractor, you don't have that control valve out and do all the settings every year. You may use this once every 4 or 5 years. It's fine for that. If you want a cheap way of knowing you're setting your hydraulics properly, that's the go. So I've got no idea what we're going to charge for them, but we are going to charge because we have costs involved. Shane from Path of Discovery YouTube channel, he's going down the same alley, I believe. Well, I'm not sure he's going to print them yet, but we do have the drawings for them on the website. On our new website, there's going to be the drawings made available, so you can do some. So yeah, we'll see. So today sometime I'm going to video that. I haven't gone to work today, Tuesday. I should be at work, but I said to dude, look, I just need to keep this going for a little bit, just fill the gaps. So we're going to try for that. There's new signage going up in front of the Queensland Tractor Spares today. Years ago we had a meeting, the board meeting of the body corporate, actually. Yeah, I'm part of the body corp, and so is Tony next door. And above the roller doors, we come to an agreement that we can have signage right to the top of the fascia. So those signs are getting done today, I believe, if they could get the scissor lift sorted out, and on the post out the front. We're just getting tidying the signage up for the sale of the business. It's just have everything done, so people can walk in. If it's a young family, they can walk in and buy the business. It's up and running. We've got staff in place. We have everything done. There's nothing else to spend money on. You can just hop in there and start earning money. So see how that goes. It's just a thing to round everything off, sort of thing. So all right, look, I'll shut up. I don't think there's anything else I needed to show you today. There may or may not be a little bit of video of the party and a bit of a time lapse of the sun coming up. I reckon when the sun comes up through the trees, it might just flare out, and it might be a pretty shit thing, but I don't know. I've set the camera up before I started the stew. I set it up for an hour, so but I've never done that before, so we'll see. It may be bloody rubbish, but anyway. But okay, look, thanks for dropping by once more. I'll see what I can do. Oh, the shaft for the 65, Gordon sent it last Monday. We haven't got it yet, but it'll probably be here today or tomorrow or something like that this week. So then there's no excuse that I'm aware of for not putting the gearbox back together. So we're going to hopefully get that done. That'll be a good thing. Not McCormick Deering, I have bought a little book on that. It's not the exact model, but I think it'll do for some of the magneto timing and things like that. And Tommy Horwood from Rural Wrecking at Inverell, New South Wales, he's got me a set of 65 rims. The pressed steel ones, I want to get rid of the cast ones, because I can't take this tractor anywhere once it's done. So I wanted to go back to the Mark 1 type pressed steel, or the pressed steel centres that they had in England, but in Australia we went for these heavy casts. So Tommy's got a set of them. I don't know what he's charging. I just said, yeah, get them. And my mate John Dudley, that I'm doing the 1929 McCormick engine for, he's done a deal with Tommy for some tractors. They're wheeling and dealing. He's picking up a AW6 might be, and Tommy's buying a couple of farm hauls off him. So he left at 2 o'clock this morning to head down to Inverell. He'll probably be there lunchtime, 1 o'clock this arvo, and he's going to bring the rims home for me. So I'll have a set of rims for this tractor. Now talking to Gordon yesterday, Gordon Ellis, and he said he had a set of rims with tyres. He had to strip the tyres off for me, that I still want them, and I said, yep, I do. I've been like 9 or 10 months just trying to find these bloody wheels, and so Gordon's got a set available. There's a big farm all get together in Inverell, New South Wales in the middle of July, but we won't be able to get there because we're getting ready to go away. I I told Gordon I'll take them too. So if I buy another 65, there's a Mark 1 in town at the moment, but I don't know, I've got enough going on. But I'm going to buy this spare set of rims. I took so long to find these other ones. Now there's 2 sets, so I'm going to buy them both, and I'm going to sit a set here and as a spare, because yeah, I might buy a Mark 1, Mark 2. I might hit Rob up one day and buy his industrial 65. Who knows what goes on in time, but I'm going to have the light press centres just for that. If I find another tractor, or they even fit on like a 165, things like that. So anyway, I'll get out of here. Thanks for stopping by once more. As Barry says, your time is much appreciated. And I'll catch you next week, eh? Yeah, try and stay safe, and yeah, have fun. See yous. Well, this is a little look at the guttering we got done over the weekend. So that's all done all the way through. I need to run the downpipe from the outlet there down the post nicely. Mick did a nice job of lining all that up, didn't he? Straight in through here. Down we go. So we have to have an outlet down the bottom there. So I've got a few things to get organised today. I've had to leave a couple of tractors out overnight, just to give us room to work and that. So, but yeah, apart from that, she's all finished, all buttoned up. It had a couple of on the corners up there. It was open a little bit, and I had a bit of flash in there, so the boys wouldn't rest until we fixed that little corner up there. So yeah. So anyway, shouldn't be far now. It shouldn't be long now, at least I should say, before we have it all certified, and then we can leave that project alone and move on. Dave's been out, my mate Dave's been out, and he's cleaned up a few of these, or taken the good bits out of a few of these old cane railway trolleys. So he's having trouble finding good bits, so he's been out a couple of days and he's taken the good timber out of it. The bad timber is down there on a pallet, so yeah, it'll be burnt when we have the fire next. So yeah, bits and pieces of steel there. He's a bit excited at the moment. He's got his new shed slab poured, so he'll have a nice shed to work out of too.